Yeah. With that, let us get started off with our third thematic session, which is on communication technologies.
Finally, we have Mr. Rishi Bhatnagar. He is the president of Aries India, and this is an organization which is looking at technologies for the future. They already have uh, widely deployed machine-to-machine communication solutions, while rest of the world struggles to make IoT happen. Machine-to-machine has been enabled and is flourishing in a lot of markets all over the globe. Mr. Rishi, it's indeed a pleasure and privilege to have you here amongst us. Thank you. So now with all the panelists on the dais, let me just explain the way this panel discussion is going to be. At first, I'm going to call each one of the panelists in a certain order, where they're going to talk about certain key issues related to the topic at hand, which is the role of 5G in Atmanirbhar Bharat, after which there will be questions that I will pose to them based on what they've spoken to us about. Finally, we'll open the house and we'll take questions from the audience. So next we have Rishi, and Rishi's company has done some very, very interesting work, and we are hoping that he can educate on how they planned it, how they implemented it, and what is it that they're planning to do in the future. So Rishi, a few words of advice to us. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm with with such a forum. Whether I can be an advisor or not, it's a challenge. But I just want to let you know that I used to work for Tech Mahindra as a head of digital business. So I am from an industry, and because I am a president and a CEO of a company here in India, which is a Silicon Valley-based organization, running its all IoT solutions across India and the southern hemisphere from here. Okay. So my job is to generate revenue which is profitable so that I can pay salaries. Okay, so my job is not doing research and seeing whether the experiments or the pilots work, but to implement it at scale so that I can pay salaries to my employees. So Aries Communications started around 2 decades back. We are a mobile virtual network operator, and we have a SIM of our own which works only for machines. We connect to the best possible network at a given location at a given time. Okay. So my SIM has multi-IMSI, if you understand this word, and within the United States, it will connect to AT&T, T-Mobile, and earlier Sprint, and whichever is the best at a given location. So if you are carrying Aries SIM in your machine, if this room is having, say, Vodafone better, it will connect to Vodafone. You go out and Airtel is better, it will connect to Airtel. And if you go further and BSNL is better, it will connect to the best. So we are the best possible network available for machines in the world. We created a complete IoT platform, and we have 15 million devices connected on our platform, and we get 2.6 billion messages every day. Okay, and we do all what is called AI and ML on all of them. Okay, 10 million of these devices are automotive, and another 5 million, around 2.5 million are healthcare devices, another 2.5 million contains smart meters and many other industrial machines. So we have data for all of them. We work with the enterprises, we create the kind of analytics, and we generate reports. While we were, as I said, I generate my revenue and profit so that I can pay salaries. So we thought only connectivity will not work, because the data utilization on which the network utilization is what we get money from, and you all understand the machine you consumes very less network. So we gave our platform to the telecom service providers, and we became the MVNE, Mobile Virtual Network Enablers. And they white labeled our platform and started selling the IoT services to their enterprises. That became my second business. And today we generate more revenue from, say, analytics than from just giving connectivity. So some people are saying about the data is gold and you can generate more revenue. We do it. We get more money from our overall revenue. We are a small company, around $100 million, Silicon Valley. After doing this, SoftBank, many of the youngsters must be thinking about starting a startup. So SoftBank was investing in Sprint, who is our customer, and they realized that we are a backbone for their IoT business, and they wanted to invest in us. They wanted to acquire us or invest in us, and our CEO said, no, we don't want. because we have a technology, we have a profitable business, and we know we can do more, and we don't need you. So SoftBank decided to have a joint venture with us. So we're a joint venture with SoftBank. We didn't take any investment from them. And many of us will be surprised that somebody is saying no to an investment from SoftBank, but my chairman did it. Because of SoftBank, we went to Mitsubishi, and we started working on the connected car solution with them. Today, more or less all connected cars of Mitsubishi Group have Aries SIM, Aries platform, and all the jadoo that happens on that connected car happens through our platform. Because of this, Volkswagen came out with an RFP. We were the final 3. The other 2 were Microsoft and Samsung's Harman, and we won it. So we are a JV with Volkswagen for connected car platform. Because we were too small, they said, how can we work with such a small organization to be a second largest automotive company working with a small company called Aries? It's a risk for them. To mitigate that risk, they said a joint venture with us. And day before yesterday, we announced acquiring Ericsson's IoT business, which was, we are a 15 million devices, they had 95 million. So, so we acquired somebody which was, I think, 6 times around bigger than us. And that's the kind of organization we are, totally into technology. We were the first one working with AT&T and Intel to create the 5G labs in Silicon Valley. We have our solutions for NB IoT, and sir, because our systems work for multi-INSI SIMs, connectivity should not be a problem even in the border states. And we also provide connectivity to aircrafts. So Bombardier is our customer. We provide connectivity to ships because in the Atlantic and many other areas, there's no towers. So, so we have to provide connectivity, and we use satellite. So in India, even in Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, and many areas where the private network providers are not very good, our connectivity works. And we work even in the mines. So that's the kind of technology which we have. We started in India with the IoT solutions, and we have multiple solutions implemented. And making India as a headquarter, we are a US-based Silicon Valley company. We started implementing same solutions in Indonesia, Middle East, Africa. So more or less Southeast Asia, Africa are my customers. And that's how we have grown. We are a success story. Many more questions. My 5 minutes are over.
Thank you for those interesting thoughts and for keeping it short. Rishi presents an important view. So even though he said amongst this August gathering, I'm not a researcher, but what he's doing is no less important. He is translating research into engineering solutions which are able to make money. And he is able to do it so well that his company is in a position to acquire a company which is 15 times or 10 times larger than his own. So that is a no mean feat by itself. Sure. Now, let's take a couple of questions from the audience itself, because we have 2 or 3 minutes before we close. Somebody can take the mic into the audience. Any questions from the audience, please? Raise your hands, whoever wants to ask a question.
So my question with Rishi. So Rishi, you are working with Aries technology for MG, and especially you mentioned about the MBVNE. So how it can benefit India in more, like our panel discussion in Atmanirbhar Bharat, how we can take it to rural India, where the healthcare facilities lacking due to the network, and security itself, like our home guard, police, they are fighting itself the network.
One was the connectivity, which our connection works in the best, we connect to the best possible network at a given location at a given time. So, mines, rural area, they all had very different kind of problems. Our connectivity works. So, when I can give you an example of vaccines going to remote villages where there is no connection. So, the cold chain monitoring required the connectivity which can work and tell them. So we were giving that free to all those, vaccine providers who are taking it on bikes or a cycle, taking those cold storage machines where you can see whether the temperature is still there or not, and the vaccination. So these are many kind of these kind of use cases we have done in rural areas, in India, as well as in Africa and other part of the world where there's developing and countries. Especially in India, whenever there's a new technology coming, people get scared of it. Okay? And people feel that there will be loss of jobs. And I was telling it last time, when many of us must be knowing that when the railways started in India, there were strikes. When the IT, computerization of railways or computerization of banking started, there were strikes in India. People were saying, no, there is no need, there will be loss of jobs. But the technology don't stop. Technology happens, and it creates new kind of jobs. Okay. So what we have been able to do, and it might take more than a minute to answer this question. So we have created again with academia, with ants industry, the Panasonic, Philips, Aries, and IIT BHU. We work together and we create a different kind of electric vehicle, a 3-wheel vehicle, which can be changed into a thela. Okay. So in the morning it goes to a nearby villages, collect all the vegetables. In the afternoon it uses the transportation devices. In the evening it goes to the local market and sell those vegetables and fruits. And in the evening it goes back. In the morning it goes back. So this is the kind of Amazon for the rural area that we created. But that was not end to it. We created a battery management system for the battery. We created a telematic system for that vehicle. And then we added this soil testing machine. The first one was the soil. And because the farmers can test their soils and they can get the card for their soil. Then we added the health devices. And we skilled that driver so that they can take the basic paramedical test. And charges 50 rupees. So if a farmer has to come to a city and pay 250 rupees, he has to pay only 50. And it's creating a commercial model for it. We added a water sensors. We are adding now a drone so that they can take photographs. And this is how the rural India is connected to the technologies and new policies and new schemes and creating new kind of sustainable jobs. And that's what, has been our way, that how can we create a sustainable jobs and how the technology can be revenue generators. I went to the exhibition, met many of the people, and I asked only one question to them: how will you make money? What is your business model? And many of them and most of them are just thinking how will they make money. And these technologies are really good. There's no doubt. And I kept on asking them, talking to them, and only one question I asked them: how will you make money out of it? And I'm really sorry, but majority of them couldn't answer me. And I said, this is my card. You come to me, I'll try to work with you and tell you how can you generate money from this technology and how the industry and the people can take benefit of it. Okay. Because unless it is a sustainable technology and it generates money for everybody, it is very difficult to sustain it. And that's what my experience has been. So I'm sorry I took so long.
Yeah. All right, thank you. So with that, we come to the conclusion of this particular session. We have had very, very interesting thoughts to hear from the panelists. We thank them very, very much. And now I request Professor Seshan to come on stage and felicitate the panelists, please. So in the reverse order in which I called them. So Mr. Rishi, thank you so much for making time. So just a memento. We keep the tray session.